Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, just a few days ago I visited Kiev. Together with Jarosław Kaczyński, the leader of Law and Justice Party, Prime Minister Janša and Prime Minister Fiala, we saw things that should not be taking place in the 21st century. The liberal promise of 30 years ago was the end of history. Instead, Putin has awakened the demons of history once again. Today, Ukraine is the heart of Europe, and Kyiv is Europe's capital of freedom. Putin's bombs have not broken the spirit of the Ukrainian people. Ukrainians have resurrected the idea that freedom and independence are values worth living and even dying for. Rare are the moments in history when we must choose between good and evil. But only these moments truly matter. Today, we must realize that we can no longer sit on the fence. We have to make a choice, either freedom or tyranny, either Ukraine or Russia. For years, the West has lived as if in a slumber. It remained silent when Russia invaded Georgia. It said nothing when Russia took Crimea. Today, things are different. This time, the West has done more than ever before. But until Russia withdraws from Ukraine, we cannot say that we have done enough. The most important question for us today is, will we learn from what is happening in Ukraine? Or will we go back to business as usual again? Our main task today is to stop the slaughter of innocent people in Ukraine and prevent the outbreak of World War III. Passivity and yielding to Putin will not help us. We must be as determined as never before. History teaches that tyrants do not respect the weak. Tyrants can only be stopped by force. Therefore, the greatest work on strengthening the sanctions still lies ahead of us. Only cutting Putin off from the blood money for oil and gas can stop him. We cannot allow the outbreak of World War III. This is why we must act with the same determination that the West did after World War II. Wars don't break out overnight. This war is the result of a long-standing process. On the one hand, the constant strengthening of Russia. On the other, the weakening of Europe and the entire Western world. When I spoke with President Zelensky in Kiev, he did not want our sympathy, but concrete support. Ukraine does not lack courage. Ukraine needs hope. And this hope must come from the West. After World War II, the most important leaders of the West united in political and economic cooperation. The Marshall Plan laid the foundations for building peace and prosperity for decades to come. We need to revive the spirit of those times. We must rebuild the Western world worthy of Ukraine's heroism. This task requires great effort on our part. It is not enough just to return to the patterns of the past. We have to check which of the security measures have failed. Where did the West go wrong? Why has Putin been accepted for so long? I suggest three answers. First, we trusted globalization too easily. States put too much power in the hands of the market, and money has no moral compass. Second, Western narcissism has proved fatal. Our self-satisfaction has distracted us from the challenges that lie beyond our borders. And third, we have lost faith in our values. We let ourselves be persuaded that good and evil are only social constructs and that objective truth does not exist. All these problems are more or less related to liberalism or neoliberalism. But it is not about pointing out which theory was deficient over the last 30 years. Today, it is all about offering solutions to these problems. And I believe that it is the West's conservative community that will be able to make a breakthrough in our thinking and acting. We owe it to Ukraine. We owe it to the entire West and to future generations.